Hello and welcome to Big Free with MattyG. I'm joined here today by Zac Swanton. You are a content creator and coach, transformation coach, mindset coach, whatever you want to call it. But you've had quite a journey yourself in terms of bettering yourself. So we'll talk about that a lot today. You come all the way from Brizzy, so thank you for making the trip down here.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Penrith.
Cheers.
Welcome to the roof, mate.
Let's go. Let's get it.
So take me back to your the start of your journey. I guess you've had problems with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Tell me when that sort of started for you.
Well, it started from when I was born, I guess. I was born into generational trauma. And like you could say your addiction started when you started using, but I reckon it starts long before then. Like whatever you're surrounded by, you're normalizing. Like I grew up thinking alcohol was normal. Like not dealing with life stress, normal, like without alcohol was not like normal, you know?
Yeah.
So I started using when I was 12, the weed socially, but also like my dad left. So I was numbing my pain from that. I was very confused, depressed, lonely. And also like I grew up, he wasn't very present because of the alcoholism. He was very aggressive. And I just was confused. I was a confused little boy. At the same time, I had a younger brother and sister and my mum to look after. So just as quick as I started using socially, that turned to trying to make money to fund my habit, as well as give back to my family and give mum some help. And it just spiraled out of control, like addiction does. You can't handle it.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is that it is a disease in itself.
It
you
is.
know, like, and for people in the midst or in the grips of addiction, it's not something you can just switch off.
Nah.
At all. It's the loudest voice inside your head.
Yeah, bro. So there's a saying in recovery, like, it's uncurable. There's no cure. You can only arrest it, which means you have to be on top of it day in, day out, every minute. You have to remind yourself you're an addict and live differently, make better decisions.
And when did that, so obviously you're using drugs and alcohol throughout all your teenage life, right? Early 20s. How old are you now?
29.
29.
Yep.
And when did that switch come for you?
What switch?
Like where you knew you had to make a change?
It's happened a few times.
Yeah.
I've tried to do it on my own. It doesn't work. You need help.
Yeah.
So I went to rehab 5 years ago after overdosing 8 times. And that saved my life. They loved me back to life. And I just changed my drug of choice. I wasn't ready to go all into recovery after it. I wasn't committed and I was still young, I guess. I wasn't ready to give up partying. And I had no real purpose. Like my purpose was the party life.
Yeah.
So it went on for another 4 years. And just over 5 months ago, or about 7 months ago, my partner came into my life. And I had the chance to settle down with her and become a dad myself. And I chose to give them a life that I didn't have when I was growing up. And I've always wanted to be a dad, so I really took it upon myself to be the best man I could.
Yeah. Was there I guess a certain moment prior to that where things got really bad for you? In terms of before your partner walked into your life or that, or was it still happening when she walked in?
Yeah, I was covering it up when I was dating her because I wasn't ready to stop using. And it got to the point where I stopped using drugs and it was that hard because I was still dependent mentally, physically on like the substance, whatever it was. I quit the drugs and then I ended up blacking out drunk and I pissed all over my mate's hallway floor and woke up to my partner punching me to wake me up and stop it. And that's when I knew I had a problem with everything. Like I wasn't just a drug user, I was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's another misconception people, I guess, have. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Some addicts are addicted to one substance, and that's their thing, right? They don't touch anything else, and but even like I would agree with that, because for me, it's like when I've struggled and I've gone to, I guess through periods of my life where I've taken it too far, I'd be happy to take anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to not be at a state of like sober, sober to me is in those times so boring. It's like my mind can't handle being sober in those times. So I 100% understand that. And yeah, if I didn't have access to certain things, I would try something else and I'd do something else, So, yeah, I think when it gets like that, it's like, well, obviously full sobriety is what you need, because you can't trust yourself to just have one drink or, and not just meaning you can't trust yourself. I mean, just people with this problem in general, going through addiction, because one drink just easily spirals,
Yeah, it does. Like one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. That's what we say in recovery. It's a well-known saying. But like I've been making content about these two stages. I call them the bearable stage and then rock bottom. A lot of the people I was surrounded with and I still love, they're in the bearable stage and they're in denial. And I was in denial for 17 years. A lot of people are, because they convince themselves over and over again that it's not that bad and that one's okay. I'll stop on the Sunday this week and next week I'll start on the Friday, stop on the Sunday, but that'll lead to the Monday. And then the week after they'll start on the Thursday.
Yeah.
And they're barely holding on. They might get 1 week better, but the next week they go backwards.
Yeah.
And that could go on your whole life until you make a proper fucking change to do something about it.
Yeah.
And actually admit you can't control it.
Yes.
It will defeat you no matter how long it takes until you wake the fuck up and realize I need to do something,
Yeah.
It's like, how much money do you want to lose? Do you want to lose your family, your house? How bad does the pain have to get for you to make a change?
Yeah.
And that's the bearable stage where like it could last forever. But if you hit rock bottom, it's more painful, but the only way is up.
Yes.
And I really live by that, and I try and make people understand that, because in addiction, like, people might think I'm talking shit about them, but I am an addict. I'm not talking shit about you. I'm talking shit about the old me. And if you can relate to it, and if it presses buttons, it's obviously pressing something for a reason.
100%.
So I'm not going to hold back. But if you are in denial, like that's your disease. That's the disease trying to convince you it's not so bad. And I've got a perfect example to give you, which I only woke up to about 2 months ago. So when I overdosed 8 times, it was so that was 5 years ago. I was convinced all the way up until 2 months ago that I just had a bit too much and I took it a bit too far. The reality is I gave up on life and I pushed it because I didn't give a fuck about my family, my brother, my sister, my mum, me.
Yeah.
And that's why I overdosed, because I didn't care about life. So like I was committing suicide in a way. And I was under the illusion from the disease up until 2 months ago. So for 5 years that I just pushed it too far, when the reality is I tried to end it all.
Yeah.
And that's the illusion. That's how strong it is and cunning. It just makes you think it's not that bad when it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the thing for me, see, I went sober. I'm not sober now. Just want to put that out there.
Easy, bro. No judgment.
I'm sober right now. I'm sober right this moment.
It's all love, bro.
Right this moment. I just mean I'm not like in sobriety.
Yeah.
I'm sober this moment, except for one beer I just had on my last fucking episode. But
yeah,
I'm not on anything right
If
now.
I could have a beer
Yeah.
and go home like and put it down and stop, I would.
Yeah.
Like I love drugs, I love beers. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If I could use them safely and like responsibly, I would do it every day. But it's not the case. I can't switch off.
Yeah.
I'll push you to do it when you don't want to do it because I want to do it with you, and I'll convince you need to do it and you want to do it. That's how strong my disease is.
Yes.
It's powerful, bro.
Yeah.
And I can't stop. Like, I'll go for weeks on end, borrow money off people and pay them back the next week just to borrow more money, just to keep I won't stop. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when you can get yourself into some real bad shit because especially when money gets involved, because that's when, most drug addicts are in prison, not because they're taking drugs. They're in prison because of the theft and the violence that comes with trying to get the money to buy more drugs, right? Yeah. And it's like, and that's the power of that disease. I'm vehemently against drug addicts going to prison. Unless they've hurt someone and then I think they should spend some time in prison, 100%. Yeah. But if it's like theft and stuff and they've got a drug problem, prison does not fix drug addiction. And I've seen it with my uncle. I've seen it with my fucking cousin. They're both two men who have gone to prison and been in and out of prison for fucking ever, you know? And it's like, well, obviously it's not fucking working. And when they get out, life's easier inside.
It is. They get used to this.
So it's like, so I'll fuck up again and I'll end up back there where it was actually comfier than being out here and trying to make things work with a criminal record and this and that. So we need a fucking huge criminal reform in this country when it comes to drug addiction, and we need to put more. I would rather my tax dollars go towards good rehab for people, and good facilities than fucking prison because they don't belong there. They need help. It's a disease, Yeah,
for sure.
So, but yeah, what I was saying is, oh fuck, this just come out. Fucking, at least at least I don't edit shit because I'm gonna keep this in. It's all right. We got there. But that's me being a fiddly cunt.
ADHD.
That's what I think. 100%. I deserve that. But I went sober 2023. I don't know if you're familiar with Dexies at all.
I've been offered them, but I just wanted better stuff.
ADHD pills for me, they were just so easily accessible for me. I had lots of friends who had them and they were dirt cheap, and it became such a fucking problem for me. And I'm not saying I don't touch them now. I'll touch them on occasion now when I go out and stuff, whatever. Yeah. I'll be honest. But what it became was fucked. Like I would go pick up some on like maybe a Friday afternoon, wouldn't sleep much all weekend because I'd then go and keep buying more. Yeah, I'd end up feeling like shit on the Sunday, so I'd go buy more, but I wouldn't have them more. So then I'd have more on the Monday just to get through work, and then you'd go, and then it'd be the afternoon, and you've had a few, so you're like, fuck, now I'm ready. Like I want to keep going. So then you'd go buy more, and it's like, fuck, this suddenly was like a $50 for 10 or whatever the fuck it was back then. It suddenly turned into $400 I've just spent, and it's like, oh, fuck, you can't do that every week. And it got to a point, I did that for a long time. And it got to a point where I just come back from a music festival over New Year's. And I went to the tennis, like the ATP Cup or whatever is in Sydney just before the Aussie Open. And I was sitting at the tennis with my mate who's completely sober. He's not even drinking. And I'm popping Dexies. And I'm like, I literally like, it was, I don't know, before it hadn't really hit me. But at that moment I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And then I said, okay, I'm just going to set myself, I just want to be sober next weekend. Just next weekend, just stay sober. And I got through that and I was like, you know what? I'm actually loving this. Ended up going 4.5 months sober. Wow. Went up to Magic Round, like, whatever, drank and whatnot. Yeah. But I think what it taught me is, I guess, how to control it and that. I don't think full sobriety works for me. Yeah. But I'm also not at a stage where I can't have it. I would say the opposite if I couldn't have a drink without going and doing something else, or that I can have a drink with dinner and I can be okay with that, like I have, that's okay. But yeah, I guess.
is it dinner every night you have a drink?
No. I don't even drink much at all.
Yeah.
I drink on weekends, like if I go out and that. But I'll only have an alcoholic beverage with dinner if I'm at a pub.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Other than that, I'm sweet with my lemonade and my fucking Coke, Coca-Cola. But yeah, there's I guess it did teach me that, you know, to have sort of that self-control. But what it also taught me is that the addiction, the drugs are that's like the end result of the real issues. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you strip all that away, that shit's all still there.
It is, bro.
You know, and that doesn't go away. And that's when it gets loud because you don't have drugs to suppress it.
It's the hardest recovery. If recovery was easy,
yeah,
there'd be no addicts.
Exactly. The withdrawal process, people think of the recovery as in like you're fiending for the drug. It's not that. It's not that. It's the emotional state you're in because you haven't dealt with the shit that was there, which was the reason you were doing drugs in the first place. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Like, could be a trauma, could be anxiety, depression.
Yeah.
Any mental health issue. Even, I was thinking about this on the way here. So like, if you were to interview like heaps of people about why they drink, I bet you any money it's for confidence. That's one of the big things I was thinking about on the way here, because I've figured this out the other day in one of the books I read. The biggest fear in the world is speaking in public. So if you can do that, which you do, I know you do, you're a very confident person, I believe.
Yeah.
But majority of the people...
I also get nervous too. But
that's human. Yeah. I got nervous sitting down here.
Yeah.
But like, I know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm all right now, but we're all human. I can go up to people on the street like you can and say, hey, how you going? Like, I love your shirt, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
Because I'm naturally confident. But I used to be an insecure little girl until I did the work on myself. Like, and every addict gets false confidence when they have a substance, no matter what it is. And like, the fear of being judged, the fear of talking to people, that makes people want to drink. They can't go out to a club or anything if they know they're gonna be in a social environment where they're drinking. I mean, where they're talking to people, they're gonna have a drink to build up the courage, the Dutch courage to fucking do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and well, I mean, and it's so ingrained in Aussie culture at such a young age. You know, I know so many people who let their kids drink.
Yeah,
like that are underage. Like
I was one of them.
Yeah, but
not
like,
letting my kids
but it's
drink,
not even like it's not frowned upon. You know what I mean? In a way, it's kind of like, oh yeah, fair enough.
It's
like,
normal.
Yeah, and I think that's a massive fucking issue because as like alcohol is just so readily available, and it's always gonna like in so many cases, it's always gonna lead to something else.
Yeah, I've done a topic on it. Alex has done a topic on it. Like, what's easier to access? What's an easier addiction to give up, ice or alcohol? And ice any day of the week, because you can't buy it at the fucking shop next to Woolworths. Like, you can buy alcohol there.
Not advertisements on TV for, you know.
Yeah, bro.
Like, you watch the footy and how much fucking alcohol advertisements are there? How much gambling advertisements are there? You know, it's like, why is that? That's so like, you know, welcomed in our society, you know, during fucking lockdown, gyms were shut and fucking grog shops were open.
Yeah.
Oh, if they're going to stay home, they need their fucking alcohol, you know?
Yeah,
they need to get their fucking bottles of vodka and their cases of beer. It's like, fuck, what?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not against them being allowed to stay open. I think everything should have been allowed to fucking stay open, to be honest. But you can't cherry pick, you know what I mean? And why have something that's going to cause the worst of the worst to come out, especially when a family's locked in home? Number one cause domestic violence, alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Alcohol-fueled rage. And it's like, you're going to lock a family up at home and then you're going to say, yeah, righto, have as much grog as you want. Like, it's fucking mental, right?
Hectic.
And I think, definitely alcohol, the alcohol culture in this country sets so many young people on the wrong path.
Yeah. So I come up with this saying the other day by myself, and I did a video about it. Don't raise your kids in a world that doesn't exist, which is based on what we were just talking about being normalized. So I grew up, it was normalized for me But based off that quote that I just said, it doesn't have to be normal for my kids. Whatever I make normal and surround them with, they're going to think is okay. So it's up to me to make the change and create the normal that I didn't get for them, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And that's super important, breaking that cycle.
Yeah, bro.
You know, because trauma is so generational, you know, and that those bad habits they are passed down time and time again, generation after generation. And, but it's, yeah, that's awesome that you want to break that, you know, because, you know, you break that once and your kids grow up in a completely different reality to what you did. And then they pass that down to their kids and then it goes on, you know, and you've broken that cycle.
Yeah.
And, you know, and obviously, you know, families aren't always the reason people, you know, do start taking drugs or start drinking and that. You know, I know a lot of people with drug problems whose parents are extremely against it, you know, and was strict. But I think that can be an issue as well, you know, because then kids want to rebel and then it's like, it's this whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when, what were your like substances of choice?
I was weed at 12, alcohol before that.
Yeah.
Like on occasions when I snuck one or if I was allowed to have one on New Year's, like right from a young age. Like even my sister, she was younger than me and she would get Dad a beer from the fridge, open it for him, have a sip, put the lid back on, give it to him. So it started at a very young age, being sneaky and stuff. So it was weed. By 15, I was on the speed, smoking it in the pipe. Within 6 months or 8 months, that turned to ice when I was 16. And that went on for an MDMA, all like heaps, pills. And that went on for about 10 years, 11 years. And then it turned to fantasy, like GBH. They call it Frank where I'm from. Do you know about that?
No.
So it's like...
I've heard GBH, but I didn't know. I don't really know what it does that well.
So you literally just get like a syringe, just 1 mil of it. It's just chemicals. Like it'll stain the table. It's hectic. And you just have 1 mil, start with that, and you will be blind, like blind drunk.
And what, with the syringe, do you inject it? Or
No, just squirt it, like, and then
orally.
have a drink after it to wash it down. Yeah, it's just like you drink it. Yeah, I've never injected.
Yeah, fuck needles, bro.
Fuck that. Like I thought that was when you become a junkie. Little did I know I was a junkie without injecting, you know?
And it's funny because society still sort of holds that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think there's a lot of people who'll be like, yeah, I'll try everything, but I'm not going to try heroin. It's like, you're smoking ice, bro.
Yeah.
You got a problem.
I draw the line at heroin.
Yeah.
I'm not that bad.
Yeah, I'm not that bad. It's like you're already
if you smoke
that bad.
ice every day, you're fucking bad.
Yeah. It is crazy how people think that way, eh?
Yeah.
But I think used to think that way too, you know, until I realized I have a drug problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I'm no different to them.
What did you do to
different.
control it? Like, you didn't have outside help or?
No, I went. I put it on socials, so that was holding me accountable.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, and I thought if I put it out there, if I don't tell anyone, I can switch back whenever I want.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yep.
And then also having this podcast, I talked very openly about it. I actually had just started at 2-7 at here when I first went sober. So for like the first good probably half of that year and episodes, I was talking a lot about my sobriety.
Yeah.
And then it was obviously Magic Round came. It was about 4.5 months. I'm also a photographer. So
cool.
I'm constantly, during that sober period, I was constantly around at the pub doing photography, but around drunk people. And what I realized is like these people I used to have conversations with, I want them to get the fuck away from me.
It happens.
I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And the first 2 months were really, I would actually say a breeze because it felt like, I guess, a novelty. It was like my new thing. You know what I mean? It was like a fad. And then after that, I realized, fuck, this is really fucking hard. Like this is starting to get really fucking difficult to be around, to be in these environments and, you know, and not go for fucking contacting, you know, the chick that I was getting Dexy's off to go and get more, or or having a drink and then that leading to that, or getting a bag or whatever the fuck, And so I went like, I just stopped going to those events for a little bit, and probably lasted like another month and a half, and then I was going to Magic Round, and it was literally the hardest decision because I sat with that for ages. I'm like, do I go and be sober? Do I go and just keep my sobriety up? And then I don't know. I was coming to a point where I was like, I don't know. Like, this sounds like I don't want to make like excuses for myself because like I feel like I just need to hold myself accountable. I think I literally just got wrapped up in probably the moment and decided, fuck it.
Yeah. And
decided I was going to drink. And I made the decision. I was like, I'll drink, but I'm not going to do drugs up there.
Yeah. One thing leads to the next.
$400 for a bag in Brisbane, by the way, is bullshit. That's a lot of money.
And half cut, bro.
Yeah. Wasn't even good. Fucking hell, you're just getting ripped up there. But so that, and then I got back and, I thought, maybe it would just be Magic Round, and then, of course, it never is. I can't just switch it off and then come back and switch it back on again, So that turned into sort of doing it every now and then. But I must say it hasn't gotten to the point, but for one period just recently over like Christmas, New Year's, I was going through a bit with a few personal shit. And I think I did use it to sort of numb that a little bit. But I recognized that and I pulled myself out of that. But yeah, now it's sort of like an occasional thing for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely, the end of my sobriety was based on pure, probably just selfishness, to be honest.
Yeah. As addicts, we're selfish.
Yeah.
We're sensitive. Like, we're so sensitive. I'm still sensitive. I cry all the time. I've cried every day in the last 4 days because of how grateful I am to be in the position I am now. And life is beautiful. Like, and I'm just getting I've been putting the work in. Like, so what I did differently in this recovery, I didn't have the safety net of rehab. Once I got like clean and sober, I wanted more. I finally, like, I'd been in the same position year after year after year for so long. And I just said to myself, I want more. I found personal development. I got a coach. That led to another coach. And I worked my ass off. Like, I got told to do these 10 non-negotiables every single day and weekly tasks. And I wanted to earn respect of these people. So I would do my non-negotiables, but instead of doing 10,000 steps, I'd do 11,000. Sometimes it was pissing down rain. And my weekly tasks, like my coach got me a podcast yesterday. I said, fuck that, one's not enough. Because we target limiting beliefs, success and growth mindset. And I just went off my own back. I reached out to you. And I know who I am and I know what I deserve. I know what I'm capable of. I know I'm special and unique. And I believe it with everything I have now. Like, that's why I'm alive. God didn't let me die when I gave up. He's like, you've got a fucking job to do.
Yeah.
And I believe my vision to change the world is that job. So I live every day. And like I was saying about that storm, I had the chance to go home. The doubt started creeping in, making excuses, being weak. And that's your subconscious trying to build safety and comfort. And a lot of people don't have the resilience to fucking break through that. And I looked up at the sky and I remembered my why. I live for it every day. My vision. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than this table. It's going to make an impact all over the world. And I just said, fuck. I started crying and I was in the rain and I just said, thanks, God. Thanks for letting me have this realization that I'm powerful. And I did an extra 1,000 steps and I just went home. Like, it was so fucking awesome, like uplifting. And the difference in my recovery, like a lot of people, everyone's their own person. Everyone has different addictions, whether it's suicidal, they have their rock bottom, whether their family leaves them or they lose everything. Everyone has a different rock bottom and it's different strengths when they come into recovery. Majority of the time, we need to be loved back to life because we're very hurt and broken. But I recovered very quick because I had responsibilities. I had 2 jobs. I had stepdaughters that just come into my life, and I had to switch on real quick. But I wanted more. I was like, what's my dream? I don't want to work in disability and help people. That's not enough. And I remembered my vision. So I got into coaching. I worked hard for months. Every day, 3 weeks, I'd go with like 3-4 hours sleep, sacrificing family time. Sometimes I'd make up for the family time, and then I'd be walking the streets at 11 o'clock at night, getting up at 5 before the sun, just to get everything done that I had to do for my coaching, my recovery, being a family man, working 2 jobs, all at once, and content creating to spread hope to the world and give inspiration and hope. So that's like 6 full-time jobs. No early recovering addict is capable of that. And I took it all on because I said, I've got a job to do. I'm going to fucking make an impact this world's never seen. And I took it on. I fucking worked my ass off until I'd break, and I'd just fall asleep. I had to before I burnt out proper. And then I'd go again. And I'd get on my phone and be like, so it was funny. I was at lunch with my partner and her friend. And she goes, back at school, you were the Zac Swanton. And I was like, that's catchy. I like that. I was like, let's fucking get it. So I made it my Instagram handle.
Yeah, man.
And I got on once I started working on myself and working hard, getting my confidence back. And that's the thing. In recovery, we learn about our defects. We learn about who we are as a human. But like, a lot of people will hate me when I say this. There's nothing to build your confidence up. There's nothing to give you like a set routine to make you learn what you're capable of. Like, it's deep personally because you really understand who the fuck you are. You get honest. You work out what's wrong with you mentally, in your heart, like your actions. But there's nothing to fucking build you up to be unstoppable. Like, you can be the nicest person in the world, but are you going on the attack? Like, and that's what I did with personal development. And I built my confidence up, and I got on my camera, and it was cringy as. I look back at them like, and I copped hate, like so much people give me shit. Oh, yeah. And I got on and I just said, I am the new version of the Zac Swanton. Watch me fucking win. And the next day I said, in 3 years or one day, I'll be on a podcast. I had a vision. I had a limiting belief still, and I overcome that. I didn't do it in 3 months. I did it in like 3 weeks. I got on my first podcast. And like, I was going to be a coach one day. I didn't have limiting beliefs, but I still thought it must take maybe a year or more to have a coaching business. I did it in literally 2 weeks. I said, no limits. There's no limits to this shit. People don't understand, and I fucking want to teach people and give back. I have learnt what I would by myself in 6 years in the last 6 weeks because I've had direction of people that have what I want.
Yeah.
For so long, I learned off people that were just drinking next to me. They weren't taking actions, but they were preaching.
Yes.
And then I followed direction of someone that was on a level I wanted to get to.
Yeah. And
I excelled my life so quickly, and now I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I walk into the room and I own the shit. Like, I walk in, I'm like, the Zac Swanton is fucking in Bondi. Let's get it, boys. Like, with the big dogs. I'm the big dog from Brisbane. Let's go, you know? Because I'm proud of who I am now.
100%.
It didn't happen overnight. And it wouldn't have happened, I guess, so quickly in recovery by itself. But personal development on the side built that. It empowered my recovery and drastically improved it. And I wasn't in there, like Conor McGregor says, to take part. I don't have a vision to take part in the world. I'm taking over. And I really tell myself that, and I believe it. And that makes me drive faster and fucking stronger, you know? So, and I get results. Like, I didn't plan on. When I got given the first podcast opportunity the other day, I was like, "Fuck yeah, like sick." I didn't think that would happen. Like, wow, what level is that? And then I was like, "Fuck, that's not enough." And I reached out to you. So what I did, people don't try. My partner, literally, she's so scared and insecure. She's like, "What if people judge me? What if they're gatekeepers and they don't want to share their following with me?" I say, babe, if they're gatekeepers, fuck them. What I do is I reach out to 30 people. I believe I'm special. I'm proud of who I am. I know who the fuck I am. And I reach out to 30 people. I send them who I am. You'd know because I sent it to you. Who I am, what I do, what I've been through, and what my plan is for the future. Out of all them 30 people, they are successful. I don't fucking go, I get any opportunity I can, but it doesn't matter what fame you got because I believe I'm on that level already because I've done the work and no one can tell me different because I've done the work and you can't take that away. So I messaged 30 people, the same message. Out of all them 30, I might get 2 that say, yeah, let's go. That's because I believed in myself and I put myself out there. So I'm like, babe, just send the message. Like, you're special. Every single one of us humans, you're special in your own way. You go downtown, you make great conversations. Like you got me here, we're having a powerful, impactful conversation that might inspire someone.
Yeah.
Every single one of us has a life story that no one else in the world does. So each of us are unique and we have a gift. And fucking, we need to use it. And that's like, people are so scared to be judged and seen and not be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah.
Being unique and different.
Yeah.
And a bit of a someone that's fucking got something wrong with them. That's your gift.
Yeah.
No one else has it wrong with them. Wear the fuck out of it, I say.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's authenticity too. I think authenticity is like a lot more people want that a lot more these days than they used to. I think people took enough for too long on social media, just all the fake bullshit, and there's still a lot out there, don't get me wrong. But I think now, like, you look at the biggest sort of, I guess, podcasters, content creators in the world, and they're all people who are very true to themselves, very authentic, you know. Joe Rogan's a great example. There's no bullshit with that guy. He'll say it straight up how it is. And it's why people like Trump came roaring back, you know. It's because people fuck with someone who actually says what they believe and actually it just gives off just a no bullshit vibe. People are just sick of bullshit.
I didn't get where I am overnight. It didn't happen quickly and it didn't happen easily. I studied and worked on myself every fucking minute of the day to the point where I'll be doubting if I could do it. I'd be borderline giving up. I'd be in tears, and I just kept pushing through. And then I learnt what I was made of. I learnt what I was capable of. And now that I've done the work and I've got results, I want to coach and give back and really teach people that they're capable of whatever they want. Like, no limits. There's time frames that are limiting. There's capabilities that people limit themselves for. The possibilities in the world are endless. And I live by this. Discipline doesn't get results without consistency. If I wasn't consistent, I wouldn't be sitting here right now talking the way I do. If I worked on myself 3 days out of the week and then went easy for 2 days and then did another 3 days, I wouldn't have the results. You have to work every fucking day. And it's okay. As a human, like, my coach is crazy. He's one of a kind because he learned off someone one of a kind. But me, myself, I'm my own person. Yes, I went down that path, but I'm me and I have a big heart and I'm still I care. and I'm only human too. Like I talk about going hard, but there's so many times where I'd sit down and supposed to be on a diet, and I just needed to help my inner child heal from all the hard work and just be like, you've done well, you know, I'm proud of you. And I'd fucking have an ice cream to reward myself. And then I'd go hard for another 3 weeks. You know, we need love.
Yeah.
We can't be fucking tough all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I think people that are too tough need to fucking wake up and realize that they're soft little teddy bears on the inside. Like,
Yeah.
people talk big, but really they need a cuddle.
Yeah.
You know?
It's human nature.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
For
like,
sure.
It's human nature. And I think, yeah, I mean, well, look, like they say, you know, why do you think prisoners, when they get put in solitary confinement, just even though it's not dangerous in there, you know, even though they're technically safe, right? Like in terms of they're not going to get stabbed, they're not going to get bashed in there. It's the worst thing for them.
Yeah.
It's the fucking worst thing for them because they need human connection, right? And we all do. We all need conversation. That's why what happened during the last few years with fucking COVID and that was so terrible for everyone, because humans naturally need to be around other humans. You know, loneliness is the fucking biggest killer.
Do you know there's a saying in recovery, everyone knows, connection is the opposite of addiction. So like depression, anxiety, anything that leads to addiction or just mental health issues, connection is the opposite. Pick up your phone and fucking call someone. It's the hardest thing to do when you're in that moment, but it needs to be fucking spoken about more. Like, in addiction, like, the worst thing is you don't think someone will relate until you go to a recovery meeting and everyone in the room has been through what you've been through in their own way or in the same way. And you feel like you found your people. And what you realize is, even not in addiction, everyone suffers from depression and anxiety and limiting beliefs, and we're all fucking suffering from something that we haven't healed from or we need to work on. So it doesn't matter whether you're an addict or not an addict. You have something to work on, or there's something you need to talk about and get off your chest. I bet you any money, some of the biggest people in the world are bottling shit up. Big or small, they're bottling something up and they need to get it off their chest.
Yeah.
We're humans.
100%. Yeah. There is... I tell everyone, go to therapy. I just started therapy in... when did I start therapy? November.
Yeah.
November? No, it was before that, sorry. October, I think. Either October or September last year. But I just go once a month. And fuck, it's helped me so much, eh? Yeah. And my therapist is great. Shout out Unbound Minds at Kingswood. Just don't take my fucking spot because it's hard to get in there. Yeah, I think, look, I was joking, not everyone needs therapy, but I think just that inner working in terms of what therapy can offer, I think everyone can benefit from that 100%. Yeah. Everyone's gone through shit in their life. Everyone. And everyone is, to be the best version of oneself, I think everyone needs to look inward at themselves because there's always something to improve on. There's always something to heal from. And yeah, we don't realize how much shit is affecting us at the time until, a lot of it is suppression. And a lot of people suppress their whole life,
One thing that I just really clicked for me when you were talking about doing inner work, one thing I do in my formula that I created, and I live by what I teach every day, so I don't talk shit. That's how I know it works because I'm here now speaking about it. I do breath work once a month. So the first time you do it, you're letting go of shit you've held on to for your whole life. It's very I sobbed, I fucking yelled. It was hectic. But each time's different. You release something different. And the last time I didn't get sad, I felt so much strength. It did make me cry, but I was powerful. I was empowered. So I do it once a month because within that month, within 2 days, there's something I'm carrying. there's something I need to release. There's something I'm holding on to. So I do it at least once a month to reset, let go, so I can go hard again.
Yeah.
And really focus and dial in to what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
And, that's what I mean. Imagine not doing breath work for a month, every month. You're holding on to that shit for a lot longer than a month.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. And well, yeah. And that's what a lot of people are. They're bottling things up for fucking years, decades even, that they haven't dealt with properly. And I get it. Life is busy, right? Life is like, it's easy to get swept up in just day-to-day life. Yep. Shit life throws at you. Fucking getting to work on time, fucking raising kids, getting kids to school, fucking everything, financial, mortgage, fucking finding time to spend with friends, like all that shit. Yes, it's important, 100%. But I think also what it does is it separates people from themselves a lot of the time. And I think that's one of like the worst. I think everyone just needs to take a moment to actually get to know themselves.
I reckon people need to fucking wake up and realize they're lying to themselves. I lied to myself my whole life up until 5 months ago. And I realized I need to change this. And once I started changing things, I realized there was more to change because I stopped lying. I admitted to myself, like when someone asked you, I did a video about this. If someone asked you right now, are you proud of yourself? Would you say yes or no? Or would you say yes, but in the back of your mind, you're actually thinking about things you could improve on to be really proud? Like when you say, yeah, I'm proud, is there any doubt in your mind about anything, or do you fucking go, yeah? There's a big difference. And I realized that over time when I put the work in, because I'd convinced myself, yeah, I've done the work today, but what could I have done? Could I have done more? Did I treat everyone equally? Was I nice? Did I yell at anyone? Was I snappy? Did I overthink? Was there anything I could improve on? Did I live my life to my fullest and my full potential? Was I my best self today? If someone asked me if I was proud, even right now, are you proud? I'm proud of the work I've put in and who I am. But there's probably stuff I could have done better today. So if you ask me if I'm proud in general, I'll say, yeah, fucking nice, I'm going places. But if you said, are you proud of what you did today? I'd say straight up, no. I could have done way more. I could have been busy, but instead I took the easy way out. I laid down for 20 minutes. There's more I could have done. And if I want big results, I've got to dial the fucking more and more and more to get places. Like I said before this thing, if you want what most people don't have, you got to do more than what most people will. And that's how you get results. That's how you stand out from the crowd. And there's something I read the other day. Majority of people in the world watch from the sidelines. That's why there's 13 people on a footy team on both sides, and there's 50,000 watching the game. Because all of us watch and talk about and gossip and fucking drama, instead of fucking competing. But you don't have to compete in the game. The game is your life. Are you talking about it, or are you fucking working for something? What's your purpose? Why are you alive? That's what I want people to start understanding. It took me, I'm 29, and it was only 5 months ago I realized all this shit. So I haven't been perfect, and I'm not the best in the world, but I'm awake now. I'm fucking here. Let's go. What's next? I want more. I'm doing big things. And people laugh at me. They give me shit because I make cringy videos. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You're watching me, bro. I'm in the game. Keep watching me win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many people just aren't honest. And another thing I realized the other day, cool topic. You might like this one. As kids, we all have dreams. Whether it's a fireman, sports star, police officer, we all have a vision. We all have a dream. As we get older, life stresses get in the way. We get bills, we have families, etc., etc. We work, and our dream fades away. because we get caught up in the stress and overwhelmed. But what I've realized is that dream doesn't have to die. As adults, we might have a different dream to when we were kids, but we're still allowed to dream and we're still allowed to go after it. I didn't sacrifice too much family time. I did a little bit in the last few months, but I sacrificed working on myself for family time. And then I was up at 11:30 at night walking the streets to get my steps in and making it all work because I fucking have a dream now. It's like, are you just living to be in the moment and survive? Or are you living to fucking do something? Like your dream. What's it mean to you? What does life mean to you? I really want people to wake up and think about it because I wasted 28 years of my life because I gave up on my dream. I focused on the party life and shit that wasn't getting me results. And I stopped wondering what I wanted in life. You know, I got caught up so much in numbing my pain and I was so broken and defeated and I had no purpose. I wasn't living for anything. Life didn't mean as much as it should. And like there's a saying in recovery, you have two lives. The second one is the most important because it's when you realize you only got one left. It's fucking deep.
Yeah,
it's
I like
sick. That. And that's what I mean. When are you going to wake the fuck up and realize you could... And I said this the other day. Someone's like, oh, I haven't seen enough results yet. I'm not going to sign up to your coaching until I see results. I said, whatever. I said, what if you got cancer tomorrow? Would you start working on yourself then? Would you go after your dream then? What's it going to take for you to want and believe in yourself and go after it? I didn't see results and I was shit scared too to get a coach. I put my deposit down and I threw my phone. I was like, what have I done? You know, that was fucking frightening. But you got to jump through the fear to get growth. Otherwise you'll be stuck forever. And people are just too scared to fucking get out of their comfort zone. But if you don't push through the fear, you won't grow. And you'll fucking stay the same, have the same life, year after year after year, and possibly even get worse because you'll be fucking sad that you haven't done anything special. And like New Year, another thing, New Year's resolutions. I said this online when people started posting right on New Year's. They're like, oh, I'm going to do this. This is my New Year resolution. I made a video. I said, none of it's going to fucking work. They're like, bullshit, why? We know what we're doing. I said, because you don't have a plan. And if you really wanted it, you wouldn't wait till the last day of the year. You'd start now. So it doesn't mean enough. So it's not going to fucking work because if it meant something, you'd start now. You wouldn't wait till fucking the last day of the year to start. Like, wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you? You're kidding yourself if you think your New Year's resolution is going to work.
Yeah, I agree.
Take action.
It's never, It usually, 9 out of 10 times, probably 99 out of 100 times, it's not going to fucking last.
Yeah, bro.
It's not going to last.
Get a coach. Excel your life.
100%. Now, we do need to wrap things up.
Yeah, easy, bro. I started venting, eh?
No, that's fine. Trust me, you gave me plenty of content to work with there.
Yeah, drop some bombs, bro.
But thank you very much for coming down.
Thanks so much, brother.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
All the way from Brizzy. I'll be up in Brizzy. If anyone watched the last episode of my podcast, sorry, there's going to be a few more released before this one comes out. But if anyone watched the first retro one where I said I'm not going to Magic Round, I lied. Well, I changed my mind, and I am going to fucking Magic Round. Bro. But just 24 hours. I'm flying up there, and then I'm flying back the next day.
Let's catch up when you go.
But yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'll be filming some content up there at the Caxton and whatnot. So very excited. So, but yeah, thank you again.
Thank you, brother.
And,
appreciate it.
You're welcome anytime. And remember, guys, speak free with MattyG.